All right, I haven't done a real talk in a minute. I've been slamming out the content though. I just been trying to keep consistent and talk about topics that might be of relevant interest. And I find this to be interesting. This claim by Critical Drinker, clearly he does not like the character creator and them allowing top options, bottom options, all kinds of options in Dragon Age the Veilguard. He says, and I quote, "Is it just me, or are character creation screens nothing but a stupid, narcissistic waste of time?" And most people responded in the thread, either his name checks out, that he's critical, and he drinks a lot, and he might be drunk, or people are saying, no, that's just you. I think Ackman had a very educated response where he said, would you say the same thing about creating a character in Dungeons and Dragons? These are role-playing games. Creating your own character based on the tools of your imagination and is the entire foundation of the RPG genre. You should be criticizing the game, not the genre, which, I mean, the last part is this game even out yet? Like, okay, for him to really critique the game, but I don't think so. But yeah, the genre itself is more or less something that has always offered a vast amount of customizing, whether customizing your body type, your race, your horns, your character, your skin color. You could be pale, you could be black, you could be white, you could be tan, you could be whatever the fuck you want. You could be a demon, and that character might not even be representative of you in particular, just some sort of demonic OC avatar that someone always was itching to make. You could do that in these games. I am not against creativity in the building blocks for customizing your character. I think people being sort of anal about this don't really understand the terms of being a role in a role-playing game. You're playing as an avatar, and it could be anyone who you want it to be in a role of a role-playing game. They don't call it RPG for nothing. Now, sometimes RPGs, they like to pivot and you play as the character that was created for the story, right? I mean, eventually it turned into, you know, you could change Cloud's name in the beginning of initial RPGs in the PS1 era, or change like Aya Bray's name in the first Parasite Eve, but eventually they grew into the characters we know today, and they are the characters that were created for that story. But with character customization, there's a lot of creativity that you can make, and I never really riffed on the idea of giving more creative options. I believe that it was fun to do in Saints Row. If I want to fucking walk around with like a goddamn 13-inch dick, I could fucking do that in Saints Row. It's like, it was always funny to see and fucking just do it and do whatever you want with the open sandbox world nature of that game. So I don't understand why there's now this sort of viewpoint where if you make who you want, then apparently you are narcissistic. I mean, if you want to express yourself in meaningful ways, that is the nature of doing stuff like this, where you can make like a total top half mushroom man if you want. But I find this to be very intriguing forms of expression, whether you're making a character that looks like a complete monster just like this, where I can't even describe what is going on, but I imagine it's very hilarious to see this in the Street Fighter 6 character creator, for example, or just some guy with stubby arms walking around. Maybe we've given people way too much power with some of these, okay? Maybe that's a little bit too much, but still, you see creativity like people making Fujin from MK, them making Majima from the Yakuza series, them making a slew of other characters, the main character from Witcher, Geralt. Just, I like things of this nature because it shows like how creative can people get, even with the Tekken 8 clothes customizer where you can make like certain characters. I made Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil and I put him on my Li Chao Lan because I thought it was cool to see, it was cool to have, and it was cool to represent something of my relevant interest right then and there. I love Resident Evil, so I'm gonna fight with a Resident Evil inspired costume because of the character customization. That's how I felt. That's what I decided to do, and I don't feel like a narcissist otherwise for making a character that I want. I think that's crazy talk. This sort of leads into the whole body type A, body type B, some quarreling over that, where it's like, oh well, now all of this is modern identity politics, and the way I feel about this is I could use my eyes. I can clearly tell the difference with the body type between either male or female. So if it's type A or type B, I really don't care. I could tell the difference with my own two retinas, right? And it seems like people have such a big issue with this speech being changed and whatnot and all this other stuff. And I feel like it was a post from 2 years ago on GameFAQs where people were ranting about this, and I think the moderator said it best when he closed the thread down. He said, and that's enough of this topic, since some of you can't stop losing your minds over harmless body types. People whining about them using the terms look A and look B. Fire Emblem had it with choose your form. Demon Souls had type A, type B. Monster Hunter Rise had type A, type B. Elden Ring had type A, type B, and that was a critically well-received game, and it sold super well, and you don't see those players caring in the slightest. The only thing they wanted to do is probably build their character, get in, get out. I really don't see people hating on this specific game when there's been so many like it before, and I don't think that makes Dragon Quest any less derivative of what they're trying to do in a role-playing game just because you could choose between type A or type B, male or female. If anything, if they're giving you the customization to do what you want, it still falls in line with a role-playing game that is playing your avatar no matter what they are, or no matter what you want to do with them, and building them up, leveling them up, and having a good time. Remember when video games were like simple and super fun and people weren't just overthinking constantly about type A and type B and not using their eyes to recognize what is exactly happening? I mean, yeah, I remember that too, and I don't think that is going to stop me from engaging in RPG games or making characters that I want to look exactly the way I want, whether they represent me or they represent someone else. Either way, I don't think it's as bothersome as people make it out to be if one of the most popular games from 2023 was, drumroll please, Baldur's Gate 3. Oh boy. Anyway, my name is Renegade Operative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little talk on type A or type B. I will see you guys next time. All the controversy behind it and everything. Once again, I think it's stupid, and if people had more brain matter, then this wouldn't be any more of a problem, but I guess it is, and I just find it to be comedy and hilarious and something that you point and laugh at when you see it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Later.
You shouldn't use my name.
Dodson! Dodson! We've got Dodson here! See, nobody cares.